Today is another day with a strong sign. A big story about XRP and Ripple was just leaked by the SEC. Not long ago, the SEC did everything it could to destroy Ripple, but things have changed and they may now be making XRP riches. Doesn't it sound crazy? Things are getting more interesting though. Now experts say that the price of XRP Ripple coin might soon go over $3,000, 0 cents. That's pretty cool, right? Watch this whole video. Let's jump right in. Nota bene. The SEC has approved an XRP futures ETF, which is a huge deal that has people all over the crypto world talking. For people who use XRP, this is a moment of respect that has been waiting a long time. Getting out of court and into the spotlight on Wall Street. The story is more complicated than it seems at first glance, though. The decision is a big step forward, but many people, including analyst John Squire, warn that it's not quite the big deal that some people think it is. You should know why. At its heart, an ETF is a type of money that lets investors gain exposure to a security, such as XRP, without actually owning it. The same way you might buy a ticket to see a game instead of playing in it. There's a part of you in the motion, but it's not direct. The SEC just approved a futures exchange traded fund, ETF, that lets buyers bet on how the price of XRP will change without ever having to touch the tokens themselves. Not really buying XRP, more like putting money on whether the price will go up or down. In other words, it doesn't make people want the object itself. It's not crypto, just selling paper. But a spot ETF is not the same thing. Buying and keeping the real XRP tokens is what it takes. That's what raises demand, lowers supply, and might cause the price to go up. The futures ETF is a step toward XRP becoming recognized by institutions, but it doesn't change the way supply and demand work, which could cause the token's price to rise to a higher level. But the futures ETF is still important. It means something very important. People no longer see XRP as a legal murky area. It's making its way into the world of standard finance, which is dominated by big players like pension funds, hedge funds, and others. This adds a whole new level of trustworthiness and exposure. Following a tweet by XRP Chancellor, it looks like the SEC will label XRP as a commodity. Gold is also a good or service. XRP is like gold in the world. That's not just a smart phrase. It's a big change in how people think. People see things like gold as safe places to keep their money. They aren't held by one group and can be used anywhere in the world. If everyone treats XRP the same, it will be a lot easier for a lot of people to start using it. It seems like XRP is moving on to the next phase of its life, not just as a way to send money or avoid lawsuits, but as an important part of today's financial system. Crypto Geek's tweet, which only said XRP ETF approved by US SEC, shows how important this moment is. The piece is short, based on facts, and the start of a much bigger story. Jack the Rippler added to the excitement by saying, "Get ready for the domino effect." This means that more ETFs could follow, and maybe even an XRP ETF isn't too far behind. That's the real win. If there is a spot ETF, it means that big companies are buying XRP and hanging on to it. The way prices move changes a lot at that point. This futures ETF is still a great buy until then. It makes XRP official and gives it a place at the establishment table. The market will have to wait for something more concrete before prices really go through the roof and use and acceptance really take off. It feels like something is beginning right now. XRP used to be looked down upon by regulators, but now it is being put in the same category as metals like gold. It's no longer a matter of if XRP will make it or not. It's how far it can go now that regular banks are starting to let people in. In that case, this futures ETF might only be the tip of the iceberg when it comes to a much bigger prize, right? But wait, there's more. Crypto experts are very excited about what they think will happen next with XRP. What they say might blow your mind. Tell me you're not interested, because what they say could change everything. Ciao for now. Now things really start to get interesting. Let's say you bought Bitcoin in 2011. Back then, most people thought internet money was a joke. Some experts are using that exact phrase to describe XRP right now. Aminix says that buying XRP now is the same as getting Bitcoin in 2011. Before you look at the facts, it sounds crazy. XRP isn't just going up again. It looks like it might repeat one of the most rapid bull runs in the history of crypto. eGrag Crypto, a seasoned market expert, says that XRP is following the pattern it set in 2017. He might be right too, and prices could be about to go through the roof. In 2017, XRP went from being worth less than a penny to almost $4.00 in just over a year. That's a gain of over 6,000%. Now it could be happening again. XRP has already grown by 578%, rising from 50 cents in November 2024 to over $3.00 in January 2025. That rush hit resistance just like the last time, and the coin has been getting stronger, coiling up like a spring. From what Greg says, this is wave 2 of an Elliott wave pattern. Wave 3, the rocket phase, could be the one to watch if that technical framework holds up. Based on his chart, XRP could go through the roof and hit $27.00 this summer, sometime between June and September. Even if XRP temporarily goes down after hitting $27.00, he thinks it could go as low as $5.00 in what he calls Wave 4. Greg thinks that a final fifth wave will send XRP through the roof to a crazy $120.00. At that price, it would be 5 times more valuable than it is now. Its market value would be about $7 trillion, the same as gold. While this is a huge claim, it shows how much faith some analysts have in XRP's long-term promise. The XRP community as a whole is also very excited. Believe it or not, XRP will print the biggest green candle of all time, an XRP Avengers tweet said. Some, like Crypto Beast, have a more realistic goal of $10.00 to $12.00 during this bull run. Somewhere though, you can feel that something big is about to happen. Crypto Sensei didn't play it cool. XRP at 3,000 faster than you think. People aren't just making these crazy guesses on Twitter. More and more people think that XRP isn't just facing legal battles or trying to stay alive in the shadows of Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's changing into something with a strong market structure, attention from institutions, and examples from the past. The most important thing to remember is this: even if XRP doesn't hit $10,120.00 or even $3.00, honest, important people are watching. Experts are keeping an eye on complex fractals, institutions are taking a look around, and the force of XRP is still strong. XRP Dragon put it simply: wealth that will change your life is on the way. Of course, the CEO of Ripple couldn't keep quiet during such a big event. He stepped in and told everyone what Ripple was going to do next. And trust me, these aren't your average deals. What he said could put XRP at the center of world banking. This isn't just good news, it's big history. XRP might not only go up, it might also change the way the economy works. So Brad Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, recently took the stage to talk about how the financial world is changing and how XRP is at the center of this change. He focused on the move away from old systems like Swift and toward more efficient blockchain technology. The comments made by Garlinghouse come at a very important time for both Ripple and the global payment business as a whole. He said that Swift has been used in finance for more than 40